It's 4:59 on this Wednesday morning. Good morning. Right now, beaches along the Treasure Coast are preparing for possible erosion from the rainmaker Glenn and Lisa have been tracking. We're live in Stewart this morning.
And we are also checking out the soggy roads with our live drive cam. We are in the Stewart area right now. We'll be checking in with News Channel 5's Christina Noche just ahead. But first, we're tracking the tropics.
So as we say good morning to Glenn Glazer, let's ask the question. Where's the rainfall the heaviest right now, Glenn?
Right now along the Treasure Coast, and the low pressure has started to develop just off our coast. It will move to the north throughout the day today, and that's when we could see some real development, when it's well to our north, far away from us, but that's when we could see it become a subtropical storm over the next 24 to 48 hours. Its impact on us will actually become more beneficial for our weather as we head toward the weekend. I'll explain more later this half hour. Here's a quick look at what's happening this morning, though. It's pretty sloppy this morning. There's a lot of moisture around. We've got some heavier rainfall moving into Vero Beach right now. Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie with some heavy rainfall. In the yellows, that's where we're seeing some of the heavier rain. There's a little more offshore there. Stewart getting some light to moderate rainfall. Indiantown, down by the acreage in Royal Palm. We've got a little bit of rainfall here and there, and some more about to move into Palm Beach right here. Boca looking pretty good right now. Not much going on down south. So here's that low developing offshore. These are the winds here, and you can see here we are here. So it's pretty far away from us, closer to the Bahamas than us, obviously, but it's helping to rope in that moisture and that rainfall that we're seeing this morning. So we're keeping our eye on it. 40% chance it could develop into a subtropical storm as it moves well north of us. Scattered rainfall this morning, could see some sunshine this afternoon. We'll talk more about that coming up.
At 5:01, a lot of eyes are going to be on the Treasure Coast beaches today. That weather is expected to cause rough surf and beach erosion. News Channel 5's Chris Stewart is live at Bathtub Beach in Stewart, where erosion has been a problem for a while. Chris?
Yeah, and Roxanne, when you think about beach erosion concerns in this area, Bathtub Beach definitely comes to mind here on Hutchinson Island. It's been a concern in the past. This morning we're feeling some wind, a little bit of rain, but nothing too heavy. You can see over the past, because erosion has been an issue, the dunes that have been built up here right at the edge of the beach to stop water getting past where we are now and heading towards people's homes. Now, erosion today expected to be, at its highest concern for erosion happening at high tide. That's 10:30 this morning. That is 11 o'clock tonight. So people are going to be keeping an eye on the beach to see what this weather that we're tracking off the coast, what it does with these strong tides expected. Certainly not beach weather now, but rip currents a concern expected here as well. And it's not just the issue for the beach, but you also think about it as sea turtle nesting season, so there are concerns as well for any kind of nests that may be up on the beach if we do end up seeing some erosion later today. We're live in Stewart. Chris Stewart, WPTV News Channel 5.
All right, get ready for another wet morning commute this morning. And also, if you're in parts of West Palm Beach, you're going to be driving by the light of the moon or the headlights, at least right here between 45th and Palm Beach Lakes. We've got a patch of lights out, so it is pretty dark. You definitely want to take it easy out there, no matter where you are this morning. In fact, let me show you, we do have some slick roads right now in Fort Pierce. This is I-95, State Road 70. Again, a very wet commute this morning, but right now we are accident free.
Holani, thank you. It's 5:02. Let's step outside and go out to our live drive camera right now with News Channel 5's Christina Noche. Christina, how are the roads looking over there in the Stewart area?
Yeah, guys, what you've been hearing from Glenn and seeing on the radar this morning, definitely evident here on the roads. Right now, we just passed Hope Sound on I-95 North coming up to Stewart. Traffic right now moving pretty well despite the rain, since it's still pretty early. Not too many people out here on the roads. But this is a wet morning, a lot of wind, so you can definitely expect some slick roads for your commute this morning for sure. I actually ran to my car without a hood. Bad idea. You will be wet, so dress appropriately as you head out this morning. Live on I-95 North, Christina Noche, WPTV News Channel 5.
This just broke over the Associated Press breaking news wires. 4 people have been arrested in Germany after they were planning on attacking mosques and asylum seeker hostels within that country. The federal prosecutor's office says these people will appear in court Wednesday. They are 3 men and 1 woman, I should say, all German nationals forming an extremist right-wing terror group called Old School Society. Again, They are going to be in court Wednesday, and they even uncovered explosives during their search this morning. Back to you.
If you're looking for a job, listen to this. More than 25 companies will be in West Palm Beach today hiring for more than 1,000 jobs. The Marriott on Okeechobee Boulevard is hosting the free South Florida Mega Job Fair. News Channel 5 is a sponsor and will be there hiring for positions like producers and reporters. You're advised to dress your best and bring plenty of copies of your resume.
Attorneys for victims of a Wellington man's Ponzi scheme are arguing for restitution in court this week. They're arguing that Wells Fargo was complicit in the scheme by allowing George Theodule to make questionable transactions. Theodule was convicted in 2014 for running what prosecutors say was a $30 million scheme targeting Haitians. They said he operated out of a Lake Worth storefront and guaranteed big returns in 90 days. Instead, investors lost everything. Theodule was sentenced to 12 years in jail.
A third accuser could take the stand against a former private Catholic school teacher charged with sexually assaulting 2 children. We've told you about Stephen Budd before. He was arrested in 2013 after students came forward saying that in 2006 and 2007 at Rosarian Academy, he would pay students with candy for sexual favors. Yesterday, a judge said they would decide before the trial begins on May 26th if a third older victim can testify in this case.
If you live near Harborside Place, it certainly was quiet for Cinco de Mayo because festivities have been rescheduled. On May 15th, now Calaveras Cantina in Harborside Place will celebrate Cinco de Mayo. By the way, May 15th is Quince de Mayo, so practice that one. The festivities will feature Mexican food and festivities. Another opportunity to party,
I was just going to say that gives us another chance.
That's right. It's 5:06. Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office has changed. Some changes are coming there. What the FBI is now investigating, that's coming your way at 5:30.
Tracking your child's school bus, when you'll soon be able to know where your child's bus is every second and how it's going to be possible just ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Tracking the tropics this morning, bringing in some rainfall. We're going to talk about the rain on radar right now and the low pressure that's starting to develop just off our coast, closer to the Bahamas than to us, and the drier and hotter conditions that could be on the way as a possible potential subtropical storm develops to our north. We'll talk about the benefits of that happening for us coming up in just a few minutes.
5:10 now on this Wednesday morning. Parents in Palm Beach County will soon be able to track their kids' school buses. This is after many complain they aren't allowed to. Right now, each bus in the district has GPS, but only the school district can track the buses. Even though the company who provided the devices does offer a secure website specifically for parents. The district told us internal security concerns at the beginning of the year prevented them from using that app. But now we're learning the GPS data will be available to parents next school year. The school district says you will be able to track your child's bus from a phone or any other web-based device.
The way our state looks at SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome, is changing. The Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office says most of the babies in our state believed to have died of SIDS were co-sleeping, sleeping next to others, even outside of the crib for a quick nap. That information will now be recorded with the Florida Medical Examiner's Office. One mother says she wishes she knew the dangers 13 years ago before she lost her 2-month-old to SIDS.
I just wish there was more information out there back then. And through the years, it's gotten better, but it's still not enough. Everybody needs to know all the things they can do.
The Great Give campaign started yesterday and has just a few hours left for donations. It benefits more than 400 local nonprofit organizations. One of them, Clinics Can Help, will use all of the money it raises to give needy Palm Beach County families cribs.
All right, we have some new video that came into our newsroom overnight from the NBC News satellite. Shows a new perspective from Nepal's catastrophic earthquake. In fact, the moment it hit, take a look. This video shot by a hiker near a village that was completely destroyed on the outskirts of the capital, Kathmandu. You could see just walking along that trail, and all of a sudden that dirt just falls right in front of them. Probably didn't know how catastrophic this would be until he got back to the city of Kathmandu. But again, the death toll this morning now reaching well over 7,500 people as the cleanup still continues.
It's almost 5:12 this wet Wednesday morning. The town of Jupiter is getting a microbrewery when one is expected to open up shop. That's coming up.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story that's going to have you checking your food labels all day long. Which foods have more sugar than a Krispy Kreme donut? That's just ahead.
Here's tonight's primetime lineup on News Channel 5. Back with more local coverage you can count on.
5:14, a little bit of deja vu going on again. Both of our meteorologists, Glenn and Lisa, tracking a very wet morning. And I'm tracking your commute in Fort Pierce. Also, I-95 Blue Heron, good to go here. Our live drive camera. It is also out on the roads this morning. So needless to say, we have you covered on all fronts. We'll let you know when this rain will pass, how your commute looks. More on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
5:15. It's official right now. Delray Beach residents will see a savings of $321 a month on their trash collection bill starting June 1st. According to the Sun Sentinel, the new rates reflect the fees of the city's new trash hauler, Southern Waste Systems, which is scheduled to take over garbage collection at that time. The rates will be reevaluated October 1st for the next fiscal year. The rates will be finalized after a public hearing and final vote May 19th.
Jupiter is going to have a brewery. You can expect a belly up to a Jupiter bar and get a Jupiter brewed beer by late summer. According to our news partners at the Palm Beach Post, the town council unanimously approved the Civil Society Brewing Company to become the town's first. They'll make the beer at a 5,400 square foot brew house and a half bar on Town Center Drive in Abacoa.
A freakish accident on a treadmill caused the death of a chief executive and the husband of Facebook's chief operating officer. Turns out thousands are taken to the ER every year for treadmill injuries. Trainers say distractions are the #1 reason for accidents. A 2013 study shows an average of 9,000 people go to the ER every year due to treadmill injuries. The study also found treadmill accidents have tripled in the past decade. Experts say it's because the sales of the exercise machines have increased, and so has the use of smartphones.
Well, here's a talker for you. How much sugar do you eat every day? We found an article on Huffington Post that according to the World Health Organization, you shouldn't consume more than 25 grams of the stuff every day, per day. So you take that, 25 grams, that would equal about 2 Krispy Kreme glazed donuts. Each one has 10 grams of sugar. An associate professor of medicine at Georgetown University Hospital says many Americans actually eat about 5 times the recommended amount of sugar. Here's why. Take a look at the Subway meatball. It's a meatball marinara sub. It's a 6-inch sub. It has 12 grams of sugar. You might not think that. And that often thought to be healthy, kind fruit and nut, almond and coconut bar, 13 grams of sugar. A can of Coca-Cola, 39 grams of sugar.
Just in a
so
can
think
of
about
Coke.
that. Yeah,
Wow.
that's an awful lot. Not to mention the coloring and all the
Everything
other
else that
stuff
goes
that's in
with
it.
it, right.
So here's your 2 fat pills.
Right? They look very pretty, but
Oh, you're going to chow down on one. I know. As soon as we go to break.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I could be tempted.
Okay, now an apple, this little apple probably has, our producer says, about 19 grams.
Right.
Sometimes even more, but it's healthy.
It's fruit. It's
It's
still
good.
it's still
It's a whole
sugar
food.
though, but it is a good choice.
Hold on, folks. Let me just check this one out.
All right.
Total sugar in this is 6 grams in a serving of vegetable soup.
Not
So that's
too
pretty
shabby,
good.
but it's very high
exactly,
in sodium.
But
So.
high in sodium. So
Right.
okay. So keep that in mind as you head out this morning,
Yeah,
because
sometimes it's in sources you don't think about. Like you
No.
mentioned, the Subway, you think you're getting a good source of food and a nice lunch, and you're also jacking up your sugar intake.
I guess it's how your body processes it too.
Right.
Something to keep in mind if you're going to pull into Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, I guess, in Lauderdale, but Dunkin' Donuts anywhere else.
And that's my wife's soup, so don't lose that. She's going to be mad about that. All right, here's a quick look at the tropical satellite picture. Low pressure starting to develop offshore. Hurricane center is giving that low about a 40% chance to develop into a subtropical storm as it moves well up to our north later today and tomorrow. So that's some pretty good news for us as it travels to the north. Lisa will explain why in just a moment here, because it could be very beneficial if it continues to develop as it moves north there. Here's a look at what we're talking about this morning. It's very sloppy this morning, especially along the coast. Lots of moisture coming in, lots of rainfall. Treasure Coast getting some of the heaviest rain right now. Sebastian light, but Vero Beach, Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie with some heavier rainfall on the little pockets of yellow right there. Jensen Beach got some heavier rainfall. Stewart, little break right now, but more rain about to move in. Hobe Sound, Jupiter, a little bit out by Port Mayaca and Pahokee this morning. Wellington with some light rain. Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter, Riviera Beach, and all along Palm Beach now with some heavier rain moving on in. Boynton, Delray, Boca looking a lot better. Very little rainfall there. So as we look at the satellite and radar picture together. So here's that low starting to develop. It's actually already moved a little farther north than it was just about a half half hour ago, and it's going to really start to accelerate to the north as we continue through the day, right, Lisa?
Yeah, as you said, it's pretty good news the way that this is developing and as it pushes north, because it's going to draw in some dry air for tomorrow. So for today, again, a little bit rainy, a little bit windy, a little cloudy, some breaks in the sun later today. So maybe not as cloudy as yesterday, but as this system starts to develop, this area of low pressure kind of tightens. It will move to the north, and here's Thursday. It could become a named storm, but by that time, we're really done with its effects, with the rainy effects anyway. It's going to wrap in some dry air around the backside of it, and that's going to bring us some nice sunny conditions for our Thursday. Your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Let's check your forecast right now. 2 accidents to report. These are new. I-95 northbound at Okeechobee Boulevard. You'll want to kind of move over for that. Also, one, we don't have it on our map, but it is right around Donald Ross on I-95 heading south. Again, slick roads. I think Glenn said it best. It's just very sloppy out there, even though it may not seem like it. Take it easy out there. Glades Road, I-95, good to go. We do have one accident in Broward, so it could make your commute a little bit slower. Other than that, though, you should be fine. Let's go ahead now and talk about gas prices. Of course, like we do every morning, we want to help you find the cheapest prices. So this morning in Palm Beach County, the lowest price we found was at a Murphy USA. Got to go to Lake Worth for that, about $2.50 a gallon there. So we can see each day these gas prices are creeping up. $2.48 yesterday in the Treasure Coast. The lowest price was at a Speedway in Sebastian. It is $2.48 there, so maybe a great option for you this morning. As always, to find the best prices where you live, be sure to check out our WPTV app.
All right, while Glenn and Lisa are talking about rain this morning, one state it's breaking overnight, really taking drastic measures because of a huge drought. Talking about California, the State Water Board late yesterday approved emergency drought regulations aiming to slash water use in urban areas by 25%. It is the first time the state of California has put in place mandatory reductions in water use. Here's how it could affect us, though. The price of fruits, berries, nuts, and vegetables grown in California, obviously that price could go up in stores if this drought continues.
Let's turn to Campaign 2016. It's kicking off with a crowded field of candidates. Everyone is looking for a way to stand out. Hillary Clinton is drawing a line between herself and the other side on immigration. At a round table with undocumented workers in Las Vegas, Hillary Clinton drew the line.
Not a single Republican candidate, announced or potential, is clearly and consistently supporting a path to citizenship. Not one.
The Latino vote is critical for Mrs. Clinton. 70% went for President Obama in 2012. Republicans did slightly better in 2014.
Elton John, who founded the Elton John AIDS Foundation, will be appearing at a Senate Appropriations Committee hearing at 10 this morning. He'll be speaking and also answering questions with other global health witnesses about progress and setbacks in the battle against AIDS. He'll be urging the Senate committee to continue funding HIV and AIDS prevention and treatment programs.
The last call for alcoholic beverages in Vero Beach will remain 2 in the morning. It comes after the city council voted to keep that time at last night's meeting. They extended the alcohol buying curfew from 1 in the morning to 2 a year ago. Since then, the council says there's not been a big increase of alcohol-related incidents, and they plan on keeping the curfew unless they do see a sudden increase.
It appears Vero Beach may sell a portion of its electric utility to FPL. This following lawsuit threats from Indian River Shores over rates. The city will meet with the electric provider in the next couple of weeks to negotiate a sale. City leaders say they won't agree to any sale that would result in higher electric rates for Vero Beach customers.
Boca Raton police have just released surveillance video they hope will help them track down some bank robbers. Here it is. This is the video shot at the Chase Bank on Federal Highway, April 25th. Detectives say it shows 6 people working together to distract bank employees, while others raided safety deposit boxes. If you recognize any of these men, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen.
West Palm Beach police this morning are looking for the person who shot a woman in an apartment complex. Police say she was shot around 7 last night in the parking lot of the Palm Grove Apartments. That's right next to Roosevelt Middle School. Police say the woman is expected to be okay. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers.
Martin County Sheriff's detectives are now increasing the reward to help them find the person who dumped 29 puppies on the side of the road. The reward is now at $15,000. Hope Sound-based the Pegasus Foundation hopes this larger amount of money will send a message that said animal cruelty is not tolerated in Martin County. The puppies have been treated, and all of them are in foster homes.
So still pretty sloppy here as that low pressure continues to develop just off our coast now, and it's swinging all this moisture right in over top of our area. If it does develop into a subtropical storm, it won't be until tomorrow, and it'll be much farther to our north, helping to bring in some drier air. So for today, morning scattered rainfall. I do think we'll start to see some sunshine by later this morning and this afternoon. The issue is there's still going to be plenty of moisture around, so we will see some rainfall this afternoon, and if we see a thunderstorm develop, it could be on the stronger side later today. So that's something we'll have to watch out for. Tomorrow, more sunshine, much lower chances for rain, and then Friday looks like the driest day of the week. We do have some slight rain chances over the weekend. It's also going to be hot and humid this weekend, but rain chances remain pretty low and then start to pick up a little bit again as we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week.
Coming up at 5:30, potential for beach erosion. The rainmaker Glenn and Lisa are tracking near the Bahamas, could eventually cause damage on the Treasure Coast. How people are preparing just ahead.
And a man who inspired one of the most famous prison movies ever, Shawshank Redemption, is in police custody after running for 56 years. How he was finally caught just ahead.
You're watching Today on 5. It's local coverage you can count on. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a wet Wednesday.
Right now on News Channel 5.
Good morning. Right now it's 5:29. We are off to another wet start this Wednesday morning.
We've got team coverage with Christina Noche working with Holony to give us a live look at the roads.
We're out on the roads. Plus, Glenn and Lisa are tracking the disturbance that's off our coast that's bringing in all this rain to our area.
Yeah, and it could develop a little more as it moves to the north, but there's a plus side to this.
Yeah, we could actually see some pretty good weather.
Good news, bad news.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sloppy now, but better later. Let's take a look at it, shall we? As we take, oh, we're not going to look at it yet. We're going to look at it in just a moment. Sorry, jumped ahead of myself there. Oh, we are going to go. Okay.
Sorry, Sean.
Sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it. I got too excited there. I want to talk about it a little bit and let you know what's going on here. Because, as we mentioned, potentially good news on the way for us as this develops a little farther to the north. Here's a look at the satellite radar composite picture, and we've got the rainfall coming in, especially along the Treasure Coast. You'll see from Christina Noche in just a little while here how wet the roads are this morning and where you can expect to see some of the wettest weather. But if you look off our coast here and look at the winds, you'll see this circulation beginning to develop here. This is the area of low pressure that will eventually move to the north and could become a subtropical storm as we get to tomorrow and Friday. But by then, it will be well to our north, and it could bring in some much nicer weather for us as we head toward the end of the week and into the weekend. A quick look at the rain this morning, a little bit of a closer view. Vero Beach, Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie with some heavier rainfall here in the reds and oranges. As we head down to the south, we've got Stewart with some heavier rainfall coming in just to the south. Hobe Sound with some rain. Little bit out here by Wellington and the acreage. Riviera Beach, all along Palm Beach and heading into West Palm now. That's some heavier rain. Dry air from Boynton down to Boca this morning. High temperatures today, low 80s, maybe some afternoon sunshine. Could see a couple afternoon thunderstorms. Right now, sloppy conditions. Holly?
Chill wipers, I'm thinking, turn signals, maybe even better this morning because, again, as Glenn said, it's just kind of nasty out there. Even though the rain is not falling too hard most parts, you just want to be cognizant that the roads are wet. Very, very slick. Woolbright Congress giving you an example there. Already seeing some fender benders. I-95 West Palm Beach. This is right around Okeechobee Boulevard. For those of you heading northbound, you'll have to move over for that. Southbound at Donald Ross, another fender bender. And then also right here in Vero, this is State Road 60 and 146th Avenue. So again, seeing some accidents starting to come in. Be careful out there. Let's go ahead and take it out to Christina Noche. Again, she's on our live drive cam this morning, also telling you what you can expect on your way to work.
Christina Noche live on I-95 in Port St. Lucie right now. And you just heard from Glenn that he said on the Treasure Coast the rain is hitting a lot harder. That is definitely evident out here on the roads. This is really where the rain came to play this morning along the Treasure Coast. We saw it as we headed up. Now we're in Port St. Lucie, and these roads are darker as it is, so a lot of lower visibility for sure. The roads are really wet and the rain really coming down up here, so you can definitely expect a rainy commute for sure. If you're in this area, it is going to take you longer. Definitely leave yourself some extra time this morning for sure. We're live in Port St. Lucie. Christina Noche, WPTV News Channel 5.
5:32, and this weather could mean trouble on the Treasure Coast today.
Beach erosion could be a problem. News Channel 5's Chris Stewart is live at Bathtub Beach in Stewart, where it's been an issue in the past. Chris?
Yeah, guys, that's right, and we are seeing those sloppy conditions that Glenn was talking about just a short time ago. When we talk about Bathtub Beach, this is a place that in the past has been a real trouble spot for beach erosion. You remember last year it was shut down because of beach erosion. You can see the dunes that they have in place here because, again, they want to stop the water if it ever goes past here and gets towards where people live. Now, according to the National Weather Service, that beach erosion expected to be fairly minor today, so good news to the people who live in this area. You want to pay attention to when high tide is, because that's when the concern for beach erosion is going to be at its highest. That's 10:30 this morning. That is 11 o'clock tonight. And as Glenn was also saying, as well as Lisa, that things could end up clearing up as the morning continues on. You do want to keep your eyes peeled. Not beach weather right now, but your eyes peeled for rip currents and also some tough boating conditions, which are expected with some strong surf, not just through today, but through Friday. We're live in Stewart. Chris Stewart, WPTV News Channel 5.
A huge story breaking right now, and it's happening in Germany, where 4 people were arrested on suspicion of planning attacks on mosques and even hostels where asylum seekers would be staying. This is all according to the prosecutor's office out of Germany. This broke across the Associated Press this morning. The 4 people, 3 men and 1 woman, all German nationals, part of an extremist right-wing terror group called Old School Society. Authorities say they had explosives and that attack was imminent. They will go before a judge tomorrow.
Time now is exactly 5:34. The driver of a car that slammed into and killed 18-year-old Brittany Baxter is due in court this morning. Our news partners at the Palm Beach Post report the 17-year-old driver is from Royal Palm Beach. Records show he's been pulled over for speeding as well as other violations several times in just a year and a half. Brittany Baxter was killed in the accident in the acreage last month. No word whether charges are pending in the crash. It appears the court appearance this morning is related to another incident.
Deputies need your help this morning finding this man. According to them, he tried to steal a car in suburban Boynton Beach yesterday. He fired shots and ran away when confronted by the victim. It happened in the Canyon Trails development off Acme Dairy Road. It prompted nearby Sunset Palms Elementary School to be placed on lockdown for about an hour. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers, and the number is right there on your screen.
It's closing in on 5:35. Later this morning, how a woman trapped by an abusive man was able to get help from police by ordering pizza.
But when we get back, the SpaceX rocket launching today and why it could make space travel safer for future astronauts.
Count on News Channel 5 and our exclusive news partnership with the TC Palm newspapers on the Treasure Coast for local coverage you can count on.
Well, welcome back, everybody. It's 5:38. Check this out. It's incredible video. Roger Regan makes a remarkable recovery and dismount, somehow landing on both feet after he lost control of his motorcycle. He quickly picks up the bike and shuts it off after noticing liquid leaking from the vehicle. Take another look at the crash in slow-mo here. He tries to pull off a wheelie on his bike, but he goes too far